The AFC is filled with a lot of young, talented quarterbacks. Going forward here, if we're looking at this from a 10-year perspective, the biggest competitors for the Chiefs, the one team I think that will be the biggest thorn in their side for Patrick Mahomes' tenure in Kansas City is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. It won't be this year. I don't think the Chargers, are Super Bowl ready by per se. I'm not even sure if they're playoff ready. But going forward here, the Chargers will pose the biggest threat to the Chiefs on a year-by-year basis. It's not going to be the Browns or the Bills or the Ravens. It's the Chargers for 3 reasons why. They play aggressive. They have the perfect defense that matches up with Kansas City. And they have the quarterback to keep up with the Chiefs. Those 3 ingredients are imperative and key to taking down Kansas City and LA. This is not the first time, mind you, that they've done this, but they have been able to kind of have Patrick Mahomes' number as much as you possibly can for a great quarterback on a great team, but have consistently pushed him to the edge, and they have what it takes to make his life hell. Yesterday was just the latest example, and now this is really where Brandon Staley kind of makes the biggest difference compared to Anthony Lynn, no offense to him. But yesterday, part of the reason why the Chargers were able to pull off that victory in Arrowhead was because they played to win. They were the aggressors. They were overly aggressive at times. But guess what? That's what you have to be when you are facing the Chiefs. When you are facing Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, you need to push the limits. You need to push the brink of your offense and your comfort level more than you would any other team in the NFL. And guess what? The Chargers did that yesterday. They played for what? They played for touchdowns. They played for touchdowns. They did not even care. They did not even think about field goal. They thought 6. And that was played out late in the game because the Chargers did something late in that fourth quarter that we rarely see. And they're tied 24-24. Going off that shocking, if you will, Patrick Mahomes interception late in the game where he just threw it up, bad decision, Chargers get a pick. You now 4th and 4, right on the fringe of field goal range. You know what most teams are doing there? They're kicking the field goal. Most teams are kicking the field goal and hoping their defense can stop Patrick Mahomes. We have seen that play out how many times? And how many times has Patrick Mahomes, where the field goal is made or missed, come down the field, lead the Chiefs to victory? It's like clockwork. So instead, on 4th and 9, the Chargers go for it. They say, screw it. We are winning or losing the game with our offense. We are not allowing Patrick Mahomes to beat us. They lived out that aggressiveness, and it paid off for them. You get a pass interference call, and again, that just didn't stop there. Maybe you could say they were too aggressive, but you know what? I'm not going to, harp on it. Tony Romo was a little confused, and I'll be honest, at times so was I, but I think the over-aggressiveness and the philosophy is how you have to beat the Chiefs is by going for the throat. Even after the pass interference call, the Chargers were still throwing the ball, still throwing it to the end zone. They get the touchdown on Mike Williams, just about 30 seconds left. They kept their foot on the gas. And they did not play to lose or play to avoid losing. Right? There's 2 ways to play in the NFL. You play to win and you play not to lose. A lot of teams play not to lose. Let's do the safe call. Let's not get in our own way. Let's just play it by the book, play it by the numbers. The Chargers yesterday played to win. And again, they took that aggressiveness to a level 10. They went all the way. Again, remember who you're facing. This is the same Chiefs team you are facing that in the playoffs and the AFC divisional round on 4th and 4 in your own territory when you're up by 5 points against the Browns. With a backup quarterback and Chad Henne, Andy Reid went for it and won the game. That is the aggressiveness you are going against on a weekly basis. That is the aggressiveness, if you're the other team, no matter who you are, you have to match and then sometimes surpass. And that to me is what the Chargers did on Sunday. They maxed out the aggressiveness. They played Kansas City football, and they beat them at their own game. You can't be afraid to be aggressive and make mistakes. That's what LA did, and that's why. To me, that is one of the reasons why they're going to be the biggest competitor to the Chiefs in the next 10 years. But if you look at this from a long-term perspective, Mahomes is not going anywhere. Justin Herbert's not going anywhere. Baker Mayfield's not going anywhere. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. All these teams with different young quarterbacks in the AFC vying to knock off the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be the team next decade to beat. Just the Patriots were for what, 10, 15, 20 years. They were always the team to beat in the AFC. That's now the Chiefs. The team best positioned to do that on a year-by-year basis is the Chargers because they play to win. They match the aggressiveness. They surpass the aggressiveness. But that's not all. You could be aggressive. You could be overly aggressive. But guess what? If you don't execute, if you don't succeed, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose anyway. Part of the reason why you have to be so aggressive, and the Chargers were, was because they had confidence that their defense can match up with Kansas City, and they can. They have the defense to slow down Patrick Mahomes as much as you can because you're not slowing them down completely. How many times we've seen Patrick Mahomes get shut down for a quarter, for a half, for 3 quarters, for 3.5 quarters, ask the 49ers in the Super Bowl. There's no slowing them down for 4 quarters. But in terms of having the formula and having the makeup to slow Mahomes down as much as you possibly can, the Chargers have that. And the stats back it up. You look at Patrick Mahomes' stats against the rest of the NFL. For teams he's played more than once, right? So he's had multiple meetings against. He has the lowest passer rating and the lowest completion percentage against the Chargers. Any team he's played more than once, his lowest completion percentage, his lowest passer rating is against LA. They consistently match up well and able to bottle up as much as possible. But what's the reason for that? Because they have the formula. They rush with 4 and they play great in the secondary. Joey Bosa leads the charge of not having to blitz and still getting pressure. Defense knocked Mahomes just 2 times, but you register 7 quarterback hits. Mahomes was flushed out of the pocket multiple times, and you're able again to do so with just 4 rushers. So that way Mahomes breaks the pocket. When he breaks contain, he's trying to keep the play alive with his legs. Well, there's still plenty of members in the secondary covering Tyreek Hill. Not allowing that, those huge plays that we saw kind of off script that Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes make all the time that look so easy and or end up being so devastating as the Browns from 2 weeks ago. So you're able to keep everything in front of you. Right? You don't allow Tyreek Hill to take you over the top. You keep it all in front. They tackled well, most importantly. They didn't allow a lot of yards after the catch. They did everything defensively to keep the Chiefs bottled up as much as they could. 24 points is a huge win that you allow to Kansas City. That's a win. You ask any defensive coordinator, you say, hey, you're limit the Chiefs 24 points in this game. They'll say, sign. Where do I sign? Lock it up. I'll take that right now. That's what the Chargers defense was able to do. And they've been doing it consistently since Mahomes got into the league. I mean, we won't count last year because the Chiefs sat all their starters. But they go into Arrowhead, the Chargers do yesterday and win. 2018, Philip Rivers, I know, different team. That was another sign where, especially defensively, a lot of the same players were there. They beat Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. They are not afraid of the Chiefs in Kansas City. They match up well. Remember, even last year in Justin Herbert's first career start, came up against the Chiefs in LA, week number 2. They took him to overtime. They played well. They match up really well with Kansas City. They have the aggressiveness, they have the defense, and now we are seeing they have the quarterback. Because no matter how aggressive the coaching staff is, no matter how well your defense is playing, because again, you can't hold the Chiefs down for 4 quarters, you also need your quarterback to make some plays. Not keep up with Patrick Mahomes, because that's a tough task for any quarterback, but make some plays of your own. Put your offense in, make a few completions, hit a few third downs, make some big touchdown throws, and Justin Herbert is that guy. Yesterday, he threw for 281 yards, 4 touchdowns. Made plenty of beautiful throws in the tight windows. Keenan Allen made a ton of tough catches. Clutch throw after clutch throw, was not afraid to, take a chance, was not afraid to give his guy an opportunity, was not afraid to fit a ball in a tight window. But while taking chances and being aggressive, he also didn't put the ball in harm's way. He did not give Patrick Mahomes any extra opportunities to succeed, which is, again, another way of how you keep this Chiefs offense under wraps. So in terms of playmaking, Herbert can make the plays to get the Chargers offense a chance here. And he did. He continually made some big throws, some big conversions, and down the stretch after getting the interception that Patrick Mahomes gave them, he converted with 7. Again, not a field goal, not even just taking the, moving the ball a little bit, then punting late and forcing overtime. He was able to capitalize in a way Mahomes has capitalized in other teams' mistakes for years and threw it back in their face. Made Mahomes pay. How many times have we been able to say that? Make Mahomes pay. Lamar Jackson did so last week with a big fourth quarter and a big second half. Justin Herbert did so again yesterday. So they're, to me, still a year away from being a legitimate playoff / Super Bowl contender here. But we're looking forward here. Next 10 years, all these young quarterbacks in the AFC. It's not the Browns. It's not the Bills. It's not the Ravens. The Chargers, they are the team that consistently is going to be the big hurdle for the Chiefs to clear. That is going to be the team from a Kansas City perspective that you have to beat.